you remember the last time you saw a penis against your will?
Ancient Chinese secret.
So in Dazed and Confused when they're all partying out, like, just they have their cars parked like out in the woods in like the whole third act
at the Moon Tower, right?
Yeah. And then at the end when you can see the party's winding down and like the keg's out and Tuesday's Gone by Lynyrd Skynyrd is playing. And you can just see everyone just a little burnt out. They're all starting to walk home and like Cole Hauser's sitting in this chair on the back of a truck, and he like stands up and like puts his hat on, and then he goes, oh, and then he just like sits back down. And that captures everything about it. Like the things I remember most about a party is that weird bittersweet moment when it's winding down, but then you're also like, nice,
good
like,
party. You're in the afterglow.
Yeah, exactly. And Tuesday's Gone is like the perfect song to accompany that too. It's just kind of got that melancholy feeling. You know?
I will say, I think yes to that so much. I think I was addicted to it because probably the Salsa Parlor shows were Van Wilder-esque / like Linklater party-esque times. We had a couple of those. For anybody listening, Salsa Parlor, me and a bunch of comics who I love very much all lived in a house together in East Lansing well after we were overgrads.
Sponsored by Green Lumber.
Green Lumber at one point. Domino's. That was crazy. That house party.
Coors Banquet sponsored.
No, it wasn't Coors Banquet. We eventually got like Don Henley, which is like a beer distributor in Lansing.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
they didn't like sponsor us, but they gave us like the wink, wink, nudge, nudge to get the employee discount on like pulled beer.
Yeah.
So that, like, if beer's about to go bad on the shelves, the distributors take them back.
Oh.
And then they'll sell them like fucking pennies on the dollar to their staff.
Oh, wow.
So we got like, because you remember we had like that cabinet of beer.
Yeah.
That was all from them.
Wow.
I think I got like $1,000 worth of beer for like $48 or something.
Register as an LLC if you want to have the cheapest house parties.
I mean, we did that.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Is Salsa Parlor still an LLC?
I think at this point it has to be dissolved.
It's expired, probably.
Because I stopped paying the $50 a year. But it was also starting a small business with 5 other stand-up comics.
Yeah.
Under the we're gonna make it mentality as a sketch group / Green Lumber commercial maker was the dumbest thing we've ever did.
It was so funny.
It did make getting sponsorships.
It was
easy.
like a dirtbag twist on the Wiggles a little bit.
Yeah.
Just these grown men in a house.
Being
fun.
I mean, if you want to relive glory days. By the way, listeners, we're doing a breakfast episode, so
it is the morning.
It's the morning.
This is our first time recording in the morning.
I love a good morning.
This is my first time wearing shorts on the pod. I've never.
Hell yeah! Get that crotch in the shot, baby.
The basic instinct.
That scene's so much worse if it's a guy.
Just a cock and balls.
Yeah, like, everybody in the room just goes, oh. Newman's not sweating. He kind of coughs like, that's fucking disgusting.
Do you remember the last time you saw a penis against your will? Off the top of your head?
God. I mean, dude, between gymnasium locker rooms and late night rest stop usage as a road dog, it's weekly, friend.
Nice.
There's a weekly peen I do not want to see. And I'm like,
that means you're still young. You're still living.
Well, I'm pretty good at like averting, but some of those, like, if you want to be a dirtbag still, highway rest stops at creepy hours of the night, dirtbags are like, there ain't no cameras here.
So were they just like,
they just hang out? Fucking Ladorf was telling me about a guy who I had the unfortunate experience of running into. There's this dude that'll go up to the one in Grand Ledge or the one over in Okemos. So either up on 69 or
same
90.
guy.
Same guy.
Wow,
dude, like,
you got a bandit.
This is his thing, and I don't think state police has the manpower to like stop this guy.
Oh man,
dude's got an absolute pipe. It's disgustingly large penis.
Oh,
and he just stands at the urinal and waits for you to walk in. And Ladorf told me about this guy. I was like, that sucks. And then I experienced it, and this guy just flops his dick. Like at the urinal, but he'll look in the mirror at you. And I had this guy just laser beaming me. And like
it was just the two of you.
My and my periffs saw it all. I was like, God damn it, this sucks. And I immediately like called Ladorf in the middle of the night. I was like, fucking your guy's back at it.
Yeah.
I will say this, alarmingly large penis.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when people are like,
you a white guy?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, kind of shorter, toadish looking white dude.
Nice.
And it's one of those wieners where I was like, no, foot-long penises and absolutely insanely huge penises exist. Because this dude had one.
This guy, Lyndon Johnson
it was,
type of guy.
It was off-putting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's his thing. I was like, ugh.
Were you not? Because I feel like if I had that buildup of Ladorf telling me about it, I'd be a little starstruck when it finally happens.
I was a little bit, but it was also like
it's like Bill Murray showing up at your wedding.
Creepy sexual assault version of that. But yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I'd rather have Bill Murray show up and have no.
That would be significantly better.
Yeah, it'd actually be even better if it was Bill Murray. Tragedy.
Oh,
but
yeah.
My point being, and this is where 6 minutes in we could start saying problematic shit. It was like. In those like Linklater-esque movies or like those 80s rom-coms, where like this is not a popular stance, but I'm gonna go for it. When like the gay kid will like kiss the straight kid or anything like that, and then the straight kid like shoves him in the locker. He's like, "Get the fuck off of me!" And everybody's like, "Look at this fucking homophobe." I'm like, well, hold on, look at this sexual assaulter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, man, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but sexual assault.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I also believe in the pendulum swing.
Of that guy's wiener? Because it was fucking massive, dude, and I didn't want to see it. One of those ones,
I believe in the rest stop
he held
dick
it,
swing.
and it had a 90-degree flaccid curve still.
Oh.
Yeah. There was dangle
Dude,
after
when people
hold.
are huge flaccid, that just blows my mind.
Yeah. I'm like, well, at that point,
angry.
it's like that big, that flaccid. I'm like, that's a detriment to life.
Yeah.
Running cannot be easy for that guy.
No.
Unless you bicycle short.
He has to choose a pant leg every day.
Every day.
The asymmetry would really piss me off. I wouldn't like that.
I mean, I think having a massive hog would make you get over it, but like, you probably get over that asymmetry problem.
I hate the asymmetry. The bright side is because it's of my giant schlong.
My enormous peen.
Yeah.
But anyways, you were going to defend sexual assaulters?
Yes. No, I was going to. Do we call them sexual assaulters?
I don't know. Was it storm assaulters? Is that German for it? Sturm assaulters?
I think
Blitzkrieg and assaulters. I don't know what Nazi ideology you're trying to peddle this early in the morning, John.
I'm crystal not defending them.
Okay. I didn't get that reference.
Crystal not. It was the night of the broken glass.
All of that's lost.
How do you're a World War II guy.
Hey, man, everybody's got their blind spots.
My only blind spot is all the things the Nazis did.
Yeah.
Don't really. I don't know too much about that. Don't care to know.
Yeah, Lou, why were we fighting the Germans? I don't really know. Something about a land grab or something?
There's like an angry guy.
I just knew we had to get him off that beach. Get him off the beach is what I said.
By golly, did we.
Get him off the beach.
We took good care of him. I had a guy once tell me that you... Oh, yeah, I'll jump back to defending sexual assaulters in a second. But a guy once told me that we never actually put boots on the ground in World War II because all he knew about was Hiroshima. He was like, oh, yeah, we got involved because of Pearl Harbor. We bombed Hiroshima. We were done.
What an epic...
so he just
went
brushed
backwards.
over D-Day.
He just kind of... he started studying history now and went back. He's like, nuclear weapons. We won.
Yeah.
I had a weird conspiracy pop into my head, and I'm not like, I hate that I've studied so much of World War II that I'm now starting to be like, well, let's get into the conspiracy of it, the occult stuff.
That's the most fun part.
Well, yeah, but like, so during Hitler held back panzers twice in the war. That would have been like shatteringly bad for the Allies.
Well,
once was in the Normandy invasions when he was like on a sleeping pill, and they're like, "Don't wake the Fuhrer to get the tanks in the fight." Actual fact. And then there was one other battle I was recently thinking of. Like it was either, I don't think it was during the Blitzkrieg. I can't remember, but it was like another time where the Panzer tank divisions like weren't called into play, where every Ally force was just kind of like, that would have fucked us up. And my dumb brain, I was just like, Well, World War II was a conspiracy by the cabal then.
Yeah.
The ancient ones put Hitler in charge, but he held the tanks back because the Allies needed to win to get us here, John. To get us here. America needed to be the so
What's your percentage level on believing that one?
Seeing as it's my own conspiracy theory that I made up halfway through a dump.
Yeah.
As I was like, Hitler held back the tanks twice? 50-50.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That rules. I love the conspiracy theories are coming back, and I like that they're mainstreaming again, because there was like a minute there where we were told, oh, if you were a conspiracy theorist, then you would have stormed the Capitol.
Well,
and yes, but like I think that it goes beyond that,
Yeah, well, if we're to believe RFK Jr. and declassified CIA documents, CIA did come up with the colloquial term conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And they put it in, what is it, Project Mockingbird?
Yeah.
So a little bit of that. I do want to put a pin in this. Star 49. You were defending sexual assaulters, and I cut you off. No, and then Operation Crystal Fuck or whatever.
All I was gonna say was,
well, you've piqued my curiosity. I'm like, all right.
When I said the pendulum swing, like it was kind of like a fun little turn where the straight guy was getting assaulted.
Okay,
by
God damn it, hyperbole is lost on me in the morning. I'm like, oh, you were goofing. God damn it.
Yeah.
God
but I understand culturally why we embraced it in movies. We were just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that before.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I think there's a lot of stuff in movies that plays out for storytelling that you can do that in real life is monstrous.
Also, I mean, in general, because we used to have like movies like Animal House, and they do like a panty raid, and we were like sick.
Yeah.
But then for a while,
the Revenge of the Nerds with like casual, super creepy.
Yeah, sorry, they do the panty raid in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. Well, and then there's like date rape in Animal House, or questionable. Just regular rape.
There's a guy who like gets a devil and an angel on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like arguing about whether or not he should
and then the
have
devil
sex
goes,
with a girl.
Fuck her brains out.
Right. While she's asleep.
Yeah.
And then you later find out. Spoiler alert for Animal House. You find out the girl's like 14 or something.
Yikes!
It's insane.
Hopefully the devil didn't win.
No.
But that is a personification of an evil moment that's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
it's almost funny metatextually, because it's just like, because of how evil that moment is. Like, it's not as funny in a relatable way as much as it is funny in the way that it's like reducing such an evil moment to like such a cartoonish.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
But I mean, for a long time after that, it was like funny if men got raped in movies,
Yeah, until Cat Williams told him there's nothing funny about that.
Right.
Had to get it
Thanks,
out.
Cat.
Cat.
Our woke king.
Got it back on track.
One of the best versions of that is in Dirty Work, when Norm Macdonald, he doesn't even get raped in prison. This is an underrated part. He gets raped in a holding cell.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Yeah. And you just see him walking back into frame, pulling his pants up, and he's just like, disgraceful.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a high mind to go to the warden about this. I think about that all the time.
That movie probably is going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
But
Brett Hayden and I have an idea for a movie label, like a boutique label, like the Criterion Collection or something. But we would do it for only like just kind of forgotten, either underrated or just mid comedies from the late 90s and the 2000s.
Okay.
So some of the classics we'd put on there would be like Dirty Work, right?
Grandma's Boy?
Grandma's Boy
Okay.
we've discussed.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably Grandma's Boy is the best Sandler without Sandler movie. I
Yeah,
always said.
absolutely.
And
it's probably better than
second to Benchwarmers.
more of the Sandler movies.
Yeah. Second place goes to Benchwarmers. Grandma's Boy is first place in terms of the Sandlers. Yeah, it is better than most of the Sandlers.
Yeah,
right.
like the Sandler hits are untouchably awesome,
Right.
but like Grandma's Boy, like probably in the top 5 Sandler movies ever, in my opinion.
And it's weird.
Even if he's not in it.
It's weird. I remember being young. It was really uncanny to watch a movie that had all the Sandler guys without him.
Yeah.
I was like, what, this is just like a Nick Swartzen vehicle?
It's no, it's the one guy. I don't even know his name. The lead in that movie is like one of the gay dudes in Big Daddy.
The lead of that one specifically
in Grandma's Boy. Yeah,
yeah.
I can't remember his name.
I feel like Swartzen's probably in it though, right?
No, Nick Swartzen has a pretty big role, but
yeah.
he's like still a side character. Like the main actor in Grandma's Boy.
I know they've got the guy with the weird eye who's in all of those movies too.
Rob Schneider?
It's the guy. He like talks like this. Oh, Alan Covert is the lead of that.
Okay,
Boy.
All right, rad.
Yeah, that's Sandler's Trump supporting cousin that he kind of keeps on the back burner.
Yeah,
a little bit. Which is awesome. Alan, take us with you.
Alan, take us with you. He's a hard right leaning conservative.
Yeah.
The guy who has the tan, and then also the tan in Grandma's Boy, the drug dealer.
Yeah.
And then the other gay dude in Big Daddy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's conservative, but weirdly enough, I know he's like big in lacrosse. Like he started like youth camps and everything, and that tells me a lot about that guy. Where I'm like, oh, okay, of course that guy's into lacrosse.
I think the majority of Sandler's guys were conservative. Like, I mean, he never outright said it, but Norm was pretty conservative, at least like culturally.
Yeah,
you know?
but openly Christian.
Yeah,
like quietly but openly.
And then there's like Schneider obviously is making the rounds these days.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Did you hear he got kicked out of a Republican event because he was too offensive in his stand-up? Like,
yeah, that tracks.
Like he was too like they were just like, yes, we're Republicans doing a fundraising, and he did a bit where he like made fun of Chinese prostitutes or something.
I think, geez, of course, that kernels of truth.
Yeah.
I will say this: I think political humor can be very fun and funny and good.
Yeah.
But the idea of like doing stand-up comedy for like the DNC or RNC style,
that's
people,
some bootlicker bullshit.
Well, it's just like I'm like, nah, dude, that's not where stand-up is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Stand-up at its core should still be silly. Like even if everything you do washes it, like it's covered up to the point where it doesn't seem it. It's like, no, it still should be funny and goofy and silly,
right?
And funny, but it's like, as soon as it has that, it's lost the nuance and it just becomes absolute pandering. I'm like, ooh, that sucks. And then can you imagine being so offensive while also pandering that they're still like, just stop. Like, that sucks.
You
dude.
Suck so much. The pandering doesn't even work.
I'm like, damn, dude. Cue up a Steven Crowder bit or like a recent conservative.
Dude, did I tell you, my friend Preston, shout out Preston, he went to see Steven Crowder do live stand-up in Ann Arbor. And
recently?
No, this was a couple years ago. And his bits were like, and we have it on good authority that Crowder sucks, like as a person and as a comic.
Yeah.
We're okay saying this.
Yeah.
So everybody go watch Dave Landau on Michael Malice's podcast.
Well, yeah.
And you'll hear everything.
I was going to say, real quick, like the amount of stuff that like comedy YouTube pages will cover or like bigger pages will cover about like kind of open secrets in comedy, it does blow my mind. Hey, everybody, that like that's just stuff we kind of know, and I'm like, that's weird to know at like the open mic level. Like, but your local open mic will know like shit that's probably gonna pop in 2-3 years.
Yeah,
like I remember
the front lines of a lot of this stuff.
Well, the Louis C.K. stuff, I remember hearing about that like way early.
Yeah,
and then when it finally like popped off, I was like, oh, that was, how did we know that?
There's a couple people, and we'll talk about this off air. There's a couple people. Because obviously we have the platform that could cancel anybody. There's a couple people.
I'm not out to cancel nobody. I'm
not trying to either.
Well, it's like people are talking about Robin Williams again, like stealing bits, and I'm like, yeah, we all know.
Let's make Robin pay.
Well,
Robin would famously. He would go off the stage after stealing your bit, and then he'd pay you money and apologize.
Right. Well, because he openly talked about it, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I think I heard it. I would riff into it, and then be like, fuck."
It was that manic energy.
Yeah, I don't think he like sat in back and wrote down like Menstelia or other people might have.
Right. He wasn't conniving in that
way.
way.
I think it was like a genuine oopsie, but like because he's such a massive like comic.
Well, yeah, he was.
It's like, dog, what are you doing?
Well, and you look at the mode he was in. He goes up there just filled to the brim with coke.
Yeah,
just like, look over here. You know, like you're gonna throw out somebody else's bit
for sure. Coke might like. I thought we were just starting a business together.
Dude, you give me enough coke, I'm gonna do the 730 words you can't say on TV and think it's mine.
I did it. Well, he did like, okay, so people who do like roids for a long period of time, even when they get off, if they like take care of themselves, they'll always be like a little stronger and more built than somebody who's always been natural.
Sure.
And I think Williams did so much cocaine that his manic brain was just, you know what I mean? Like he had a little bit of perma coke brain. Yeah. Now I know that was a nightmare for him to deal with, like, because it destroys your brain. Much like if you overdo steroids, it'll destroy your body. But I'm like,
I've heard that.
Hey, your bench is like 15 pounds stronger than.
Was Robin jacked? Was he?
No, I was just kind of comparing like drug uses. But anyways, I'm sorry, we got way off track from Nazis and sexual assault.
wait. There was something after that. I feel like we were. Well, let's see. Let me backtrack a little bit. It was Robin knowing so? Oh, Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder's stand-up. His bits would be stuff like saying, like, "Yeah, I waited to have sex until I was married," and then the audience would applaud, and that was like the bit. Like he's just a preacher. Like,
here's the thing, that could be a hilarious bit.
That
like,
could be a funny thing to talk about.
So fucking
but the problem
funny,
is he's too either insecure and or proud of that aspect of him that he's unwilling to make it funny. So and he needs to die on the hill of like, no, this was the right thing. Whereas it would be very funny to be like, I waited until marriage to have sex and
because
like riff like
that kind of goes into the self-deprecating humor, which I'm like, that's funny, or
not by choice. That would be like the obvious punchline, right?
But I'm like, or you could just make it uniquely yours, and like. I don't know, but the I'm right comedy, I don't know.
It's never funny to be right.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too meta because it's like I'm guessing the people that listen are also comics, sure, and if you're not, and you're like, oh, 2 more comics talking about comedy. Hey, Johnny, how about we put the mics down and just fucking cream in our own faces and then just mash our faces together and we go, "Cummy buddies."
Simon Carlson will give us great feedback on that
one. I think he'll make us a Patreon if we do that. He'll be like, I got to pay you guys more to do that more often.
Yeah. That's how I'll find out if my mom's lying about listening to the podcast. She'll be like, oh, yeah, good episode. I'm like, yeah?
You guys seem like you're having fun.
I only listened to the audio.
It got quiet for about 7.5 minutes. I was going to do a Stephen, I can't remember, Asian Dane Cook bit about it sounding like making mac and cheese. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Dane Cook called out a guy named Stephen. I can't remember his last name. He's a funny dude, but when Dane Cook kind of called him out for being like the Asian American version of him, I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of see that. But he has a very good bit about how sex sounds like making mac and cheese. And I know now it sounds hack. Yeah. But that was game changing in the early 2000s.
People were waiting to hear it, like, articulated that way.
What does sex sound like?
They were like, sex sounds like something and I can't put my finger in it. And then they came
this guy put a wooden spoon in
it. Yeah.
He does that in the bit. He puts it.
That wasn't one of his that wasn't his biggest special that he did that, right? Because I watched a couple back in the day.
Do you know who I'm talking about? I could look it up.
Dane Cook?
No, not Dane. No, it's not Dane Cook.
The Asian Dane Cook.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
It's blowing my mind. He's very popular still. So
wait, what was his name?
Steven something or other. I can't remember his last name.
Is it Dat Fan?
Yeah. Stephen Dat Fan. Stephen Dat Fan Coy.
Yeah, Ronnie Stephen Dat Fan Coy Chang.
It was it was Amalgamation Wong. How's that, huh?
Do you remember when our favorite comedian, Brendan Schaub, Brendan, take us with you.
Take us with you.
Actually, no, he has a podcast with Eric Griffin and Chris D'Elia.
Yikes.
Whoa. Dude, the Schaub is, for the first time ever, the most likable person in a room.
Yeah. I will say this. I worked with Eric Griffin once.
Did you like it?
He was I'll tell you, he was cool in the green room. Which I gotta like.
I hear nothing, but I've never met Eric Griffin. I just only hear bad secondhand stories about him.
Oh, about like dealings with him or stand up? Because his stand up was fine, and then he was cool enough in the green room, like friendly enough, but he was kind of mean to fans.
Oh,
which like I was an open micer at the time, but like I remember at that point being like, that doesn't seem cool.
Yeah,
because like I don't know, man. Like,
are we gonna get banned from places for shit talking a famous headliner?
I think I just defended him mostly.
Okay,
like I don't know. He's actively working with a dumbass and a sex pest. So,
that's true.
Like,
yeah, no, Eric Griffin out of those three, the best comedian, I would say. Well, I mean, maybe D'Elia back in the good old days.
I don't know.
I never really.
You know what's funny?
I never really cared for it.
Other people were like really telling me like, hey, like Chris D'Elia is funny, and so I finally like started to watch more of his stuff.
And then he got canceled.
Well, then I watched a couple episodes of his podcast, and he had some riffs on there that I was like, oh, I could kind of get on this. Like, talking about like never leaving his bed type of stuff, and then like a funny family riff of like them all shitting in compartments in their bed. And, like I remember, I was like, oh, that's actually like good solo funny podcasting. And then like 2 weeks later, everything started to come out. I'm like, damn it.
Just when I
was like,
when I thought
I bought high.
Yeah,
bought high. Fuck.
Bought high. Should have waited till it was low.
Bought high, sold low. That sucks, dude. That sucks. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
But Shab, do you remember he has a bit in his? It was his first bit. He got this huge special, like right out the gate.
I remember.
You know, because he quit, because Rogan on air told him to quit the UFC and made him cry.
Yeah.
And then he started stand up. And then he, in his special, was like, he talked about when he lost his last fight in the UFC, and he talks about the UFC doctor.
Can we jump cut to the? Yeah, I know all about this.
Oh,
it's been covered so much.
Oh, it's so funny.
He subscribes like a very heavy cartoonish Asian accent,
and we know the doctor. We know like he's on TV.
Yeah, no, I think
I've seen him talk. He talks like he's from California.
Dude, there's epic breakdowns of this.
Yeah,
and I remember seeing it.
Shaw's like, oh, Mr. Shaw, I am sorry for your loss.
It's
like,
honestly
not what he talks like at all.
If he meant to do it though,
right?
The funniest goddamn thing in the world.
If that was like a Nick Mullins subversion, that'd be pretty funny.
I'm not gonna lie. I might write a bit in the future where you and I are hanging out, and I'd be like, and then Johnny came up to me like, "Oh, Louis, we should get out of here." I'd be like that. That if it's intentionally done, hilarious.
That would be funny if it was like I was opening for you and the audience knew what I sounded like.
Yeah, well, I did that up north,
and they loved it up there.
Yeah. My God,
good for them, man.
I don't know, man. I think I've told you this maybe on or off mic here, but definitely I'm trying to just meet comics where they're at. To borrow a term from. Meet people where they're at from Everybody Wants Some. Mm-hmm. The rumor mill's insane, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna meet these comics when I work with them, and treat them like I don't know them at all. Mm-hmm. If I ever do work with any of these people, and then just kind of make a judgment call from there. Because like, I don't know. Here's the thing though. There's some people where like if it was D'Elia or anybody like that, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like. I'm good on that.
Sure, yeah.
Like, take us with you. I'll be like, nah, that one. I'll be like, whatever, dude.
No,
like,
don't take us with you, Chris.
Every now and again, you can pick some coattails and be like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna ride this one.
If D'Elia takes you with him, you will get branded. You'll get like actually deleted. You know about this, right? You know about the sex cult.
The tattoos?
Yeah. He was like branding all the girls.
I didn't know
he was
branding.
I
thought he made them get tattoo.
Yeah, well,
because Crack Amico, do you know Crack Amico?
Yeah.
Okay, his song Predator, fucking hilarious. It's out of control funny.
But it's pretty insane. He like everybody talks about like, oh, he just Snapchatted a girl. Like he kind of like has a cult.
Yeah.
And there's like video. There was a guy made a YouTube video. I wish I could remember the guy. It's like a mini documentary about it.
Oh, the comic? Yeah. I do remember seeing that.
Yeah.
It's a California comic. I think he might be like a Sacramento guy. He might be LA. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. I watched that whole thing at work one time.
Yeah. It was well made.
Yeah.
And like semi-damning.
I'd say
it's damning.
Very damning.
Very damning.
The only thing keeping it from being damning is it's not really that well seen.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think there's enough people who are in the circles watching D'Elia that have seen it.
Well,
that really know the extent of his crimes.
Here's another like weird thing, and I don't blame anybody, but I'm like, yeah, after a while, people don't care. Like, because entertainment's dumb and stupid, and like
nobody kind of get. Dude, Kevin Spacey's coming back.
Yeah, so I was just about to say, like, what's the peak of Maslow's pyramid or whatever?
Yeah,
the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah,
drama and giving a fuck about like the crimes of the ultra famous.
Right.
Like after a while, people are still like, fuck, I gotta pay the electric bill this month.
Yeah,
and like that is gonna be in their brain more than like Kevin Spacey's a sex pest and he's coming back. That might bug them for like 2 seconds,
right,
and then go right back to real life.
Dude, you gotta just stop. Like, it's yeah. There's I remember when there's a guy though when Top Gun Maverick came out.
Yeah,
this guy was like,
good movie by the way,
great movie.
Yeah,
loved Top Gun Maverick, better than Top Gun. I'd say. Yeah. But
I'll fight you. It is.
Somebody was like protesting the movie, like outside of a screening because it's military propaganda.
Sure.
And they were like yelling at people going in to see the movie. I'm like, dude, okay, war is still happening. You didn't fix anything, and now you just ruined somebody's Saturday.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die. And whether it's because we don't have health care or we're going to get nuked or whatever, the least we could do is enjoy our fucking Tom Cruise movie while we're still alive. I mean, and you can't even let us have that.
If I walked out of Top Gun Maverick covered in my own cum and a guy...
If you did this.
Yeah. and a guy was protesting, I'd be like, God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
Now the shower's ruined.
I know it's like literally every big movie's propaganda. Fucking Captain Marvel was like shot for shot like a Chinese Air Force.
Just taking them down?
No, it was like somebody did a comparison to like a Chinese recruitment ad, and it was almost the exact same shot. It's
like misplaced.
Right, it's because a bunch of people want to change something and they don't know how.
Yeah,
and the only thing they know they can change is how happy the people around them are.
Right.
And they're like, if I can piss off people near me, I'm gonna feel like I'm doing.
I
something.
never really realized the negative effects you can have locally because I'm always trying to build people up around me. I'm like, oh yeah, I could be a son of a bitch.
You can have a big negative. You will have no effect in your life on a national or global level, most likely, but you can have a huge effect locally, both positive and very negatively.
Yeah, I think one of the best compliments I ever got from shout out Elena Banfield is that I'm a townie, and I like that. Like wherever I go, I tend to like I'll frequent the same places just to like put in FaceTime with people. Yeah, because like I like going into my local convenience store and just like good days, bad days. Like I don't have to have that awkward interaction. I can just be like, "What's up, dude? You know me," kind of like enough of a social relationship that you just kind of feel like kind of safe everywhere. And I don't know. It's like the best parts of Cheers without the rampant alcoholism.
Well, I feel like you and I'm not sucking your dick when I say this, but I guess it's gonna sound like
I got sweatpants on.
Mom, cover your ears.
Open your eyes.
I'd say out of the scene, you are like the Glenn Powell, and everybody wants some.
Oh, that's very charming.
Like
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
And
dude.
Then I'm Wyatt Russell.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I'm 30 years old.
Just in it for the game. Well, like I don't know. It goes back to like a level of comfortability, and then like. Like having a small community is just good, no matter where you're at. Like, it takes a lot of the guesswork out, and if maybe not for altruistic reasons, but like my own anxieties. Like, I just like being able to walk into a place and being like, okay, cool. Like we all, like living a life where every door or grocery store or something you go into. And it's like you're a drifter again or like a stranger. I'm like, that fucking sucks, dude.
But is there not a rush to like creating a new community everywhere you go? Like creating new relationships
I don't know. I've never
like,
really thought about
it's
it like
fun
that.
to create banter for the first time.
Oh,
when there's
okay.
like a breakthrough.
Yeah.
You ever had that where there's a breakthrough with somebody where you
Yeah.
just start bantering and you're like, oh,
Yes.
we got something.
Yes. That for sure. But I think that's like secondary. I just like, I don't know. For me, it's like a level of like just comfort.
Yeah.
And like I do it even in like bigger cities.
Yeah.
It's like you can still
You
be
have to. That's how you survive.
Well, you can also be a townie in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, okay, so like New York's massive. But I'm like, I don't know, if you live on a certain borough in a certain neighborhood, like I'm sure there's a bodega you could just go to every day where after a while it's like, all right.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you, man. That's
welcome.
Glenn Powell is so hot right now.
He's huge right
He's
now.
huge
I gotta watch
right
Hitman.
now.
Hitman looks great.
I'm
good.
gonna start looking into some of that.
I wanted, speaking of everybody wants some, and speaking of people ruining movies, on Letterboxd there's a great critic. I'm gonna shout her out, Sally Jane Black.
Sally Jane Black?
Have you heard of her?
You know SJB?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm fucking
okay.
with you.
I was like, because this is not somebody you'd be friends with in real life. She's a
hold
critic
on
from
now.
New Orleans, and she's kind of like, here's the thing, I kind of like her.
That seems
I
like it
kinda
shouldn't
like
be
her.
possible.
Yeah, well,
Have
so
you been to New Orleans?
I've been in New Orleans.
Not a lot of criticizing going on down there.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can kind of do whatever.
Yeah,
within reason.
That's why it's a great place.
Yeah, the only people who criticize, to my knowledge, in New Orleans are cops when they're like, "No, that is illegal. You got to stop doing that."
The
That is
biggest
illegal.
buzzkills. Fucking
Yeah, they're
NOLA
actually
cops.
no. They give out a lot of warnings.
They do.
Like,
You can drink alcohol on the street in New Orleans. It's the
yeah,
greatest thing.
which is like immediately a danger.
Yeah.
And it's not like cute European drinking. It's
No.
constant spring break hammered.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, quit vomiting on on this baby.
I want to
But
read.
anyways, SJB.
So SJB, she's kind of like, I kind of like her, and she pisses me off all the time.
Oh shit.
And I think it's like, I respect how she can effectively do that.
Okay.
Like she is all of her reviews are like,
she's your nemesis.
it's all about ruining. Yeah,
She's
like
your
the Joker.
Moriarty.
Yeah, she's my
Yeah.
Moriarty.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, you got me this time,
Yeah, yeah.
Sally Jane Black.
Well, Sherlock Holmes never says that, so
No,
maybe
you're, right,
you're Moriarty.
I'm probably the Moriarty.
Yeah, all right.
Probably am. She's probably the good guy.
Yeah, all right. Let's,
So
let's
her
hear
review
it.
for Everybody Wants Some. I was compelled to watch this out of solidarity with a few users currently being harassed for their opinions on the film. I want to be part of the conversation, not because I think the film is particularly important one to discuss, but because I respect those who wrote those other reviews. I also respect many users who like the film. I mention this because since the bulk of this is going to be in response to responses to be part of the conversation, I would like to anticipate some of the responses. Notably, the accusation that I went into this expecting to dislike it or wanting to. Of course I fucking did. If you think that invalidates anything I have to say about this film, that's fine. But it would be equally invalidate the opinions of everyone watching movies. All right, I want to skip forward to...
You better be careful. You meet this lady, you two are gonna fuck. The passion at which you're reading her words right
I'm
now.
just trying. I'm reading it fast because there's so many of them.
Yeah, but
in all the reviews I've read, a fraction of those that exist, no one has addressed the racist tokenism, though one did call out its depiction of race in a minor way. This is in part because sexism is unrelenting and loud, and part because probably most of the people whose reviews I read were white. Seriously, white people, we need to do better. Because there's one black
she
guy in
white?
the movie. Yeah. She's upset
so it's
that
not
there's
an
one black
accurate-
guy in the
okay.
movie and they don't talk about how he's black in the movie, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And then, but it's like, but clearly nobody noticed this because the movie's so sexist is the other part of it.
All right.
Completely ignoring the fact that it's about college baseball players in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Like-
a notoriously sexist and racist time.
Right.
Like, definitely looking back
It was
at
a new morning in America.
but
at the
like,
time.
yeah, but
It
like,
was a post-racial society.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna say she's wrong. Like, okay,
I'm not gonna say she's wrong. I'm just gonna say she's not fun. And the end of that,
yeah, I don't know. I think you guys would have a great time.
I think we would.
A couple of grenades on Bourbon Street. You guys be out of control.
I think the difference between us is like I enjoy watching things I don't approve of. You know?
Okay,
Like,
that-
I like watching. I like watching movies about guys who like maybe aren't great.
That explains your obsession with Downfall. Then It's a Hitler movie. If you don't know.
No, Downfall is just a tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like son of a gun, they got him.
They got him. They got Addie.
There was a while there where that was getting memed up pretty
right,
great.
because they would just change the subtitles and Hitler was
it was so
a
good.
meme that does not work if you know German. But like,
no, but if you don't know German, thank God we won. Pretty good meme.
You would love this. One time when I was living in Thailand, my mom, sister, and brother like went away on a trip for a weekend. It was just me and my dad.
Yeah.
We double featured, and he had never seen either. We double featured Downfall and Inglourious Bastards.
Oh wow! Okay.
So we watched like the real and fake death of Hitler.
Yeah.
Like one after the other.
Yeah.
So much fun. That was a perfect time. He picked out Downfall. I'd never seen it, and he hadn't either.
It's
but
weird to say that movie's a bummer because technically we should be like yes the whole time. But like
it's a bummer because there's parts of where like they're like killing all the kids. Remember like when they have the kids in the bunker and she like poisons all of them in their sleep?
It humanizes monsters, which sucks.
Right.
Because like
much like Everybody Wants Some does.
Yeah. Downfall and Everybody Wants Some have a lot of dualities that people are not talking about.
Right.
First of all, they're all about a one-day kind of weekend party.
That's true.
One takes place on a 1980s private school campus. The other takes place in Hitler's bunker.
Yeah.
I pissed on his technical bunker gravesite. Yes, I did.
Good for you, dude.
It was.
Did you ever flip off Trump Tower too?
No, but I feel like pissing on maybe Hitler's
that is
grave
cool.
is a little
pissing on the spot where Hitler died is sick.
It's crazy. I don't know if they redeveloped it, but it's like a parking lot in Berlin.
Yeah.
And there's just like one little sign that was like, yeah, this is where his bunker was. Fuck that guy. They're not big on Hitler in Berlin. Not a lot. You know, you can go to the is it Brandenburg Gate? I can never remember. The Brandenburg Gate. Those three names annoy the shit out of me. I'm like, pick one. We got to move on.
Yeah.
Brandon, Brendan's, and Brendan's got to figure it out, and then we're done. Anyways, pissing on Hitler. Yeah, no, I was super hammered. Then a couple of German cops were like, don't do that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but yeah, and they were like, okay.
They got it.
They didn't see. They did not see Schwanz out, which probably saved me.
Yeah.
But they as I was walking by. First of all, they talked to me in German, which I'm like, dude, if you don't know German and you just pissed on Hitler's grave and then a couple German cops start talking to you in German, you're like, oh, no.
That's my night.
Traveled in time.
That's literally. That's my nightmare every time I do something bad is that two German cops are going to come confront me.
It's
like I was 9 years old lying to my parents thinking two German cops.
It's just a scary language no matter the volume.
It's terrifying.
Because when it's getting yelled at you, you're like, oh, this guttural throat language is terrifying.
Yeah,
but when it's whispered, like,
yeah,
los. You're like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah. I remember I had a crush on a German girl who was a foreign exchange student with a family friend, and shout out Selena,
friend of the pod,
friend of the
pod.
But she was always like so sweet and nice, and then whenever she spoke German, it was like this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, where you're like, oh, where did this come from?
It's
which was so hot. It was like cute and hot. Fighting with each other.
I don't know why, but it makes sense. That language and what German folks like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, that's how they should sound.
Yeah.
Everything about them, precise and aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and look, they've been through a lot of bullshit, so like they got to be efficient.
They're rearming again. Rearming again, dude.
Yeah.
I hope third time I think they're finally going to be like, all right, let's join the winning team.
Did you see, I think recently like the German government or something was like, we stand with Israel. And I was like, oh, guys, you had the chance to be right on this one.
Hey, here's the thing.
How do you keep fucking up? How do you keep taking the wrong side?
If they say the wrong thing but finally do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like,
what are they doing right now? What are they gearing up for?
Probably World War III. I think everybody's kind of
bringing it back.
Yeah. I think we should just call it off though. Because it just ends in nuclear fire.
Yeah, no, clearly.
There's no...
Warfare has changed significantly enough.
Yeah, everybody's like, let's start making conventional arms. We're like, did we forget that we could just still nuke the fuck out of each other?
Yeah.
They're like, no, dude, we got to make more artillery shells. I'm like,
all right.
Well, sure, but no. Because, like, I don't know.
It's like when you're a kid and you used to, like, pause movies where there was like a lady showed her boobs or something. Yeah. But then eventually you discover
as
porn.
a kid.
Right. Yeah. Well, but obviously you do grow out of it to some extent because you discover porn.
I don't know, dude. I whacked it to Mad Max 2. Road Warrior. There's a scene where a tent flies off, naked lady.
Yeah.
Worth a view.
All right. Well, you ruined my entire analogy, but that's
fine. I'm sorry. If it literally hadn't happened, I'd be like, I think you're incorrect. Anyway, so you found porn. Nuclear
I'm
weapons.
trying to say that nuclear weapons are porn, and everything else, all the artillery are the nude scenes that you're pausing. Because once you discover it, it's like, why would we go back?
I apologize. Good metaphor. I fucked it.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm walking it back and apologizing. I interrupted like a dick.
No, that's okay.
But I was like, I did whack it to...
You whacked it to the Road Warrior?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the naked lady in the Road Warrior.
Crazy. I'm not going to... not going to spoil it. But I get what...
You're talking Mad Max 2, the Road Warrior.
Yeah. 81, 83, 81, one of those years.
Yeah. The newer Mad Max movies, as great as they are,
Fury
Road and Furiosa, they don't have the balls to show...
Well, it's because... Back in the day, when they needed like some full frontal, they'd just get a porn star, like, all right, like cameo, and then
or just like a struggling
Australian
actress.
Which, by the way, we do need to do.
I think you're doing some heavy lifting with the word "star" there.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Well, no, I was gonna say we do have to talk about on a different episode. You got to prepare for it.
Yeah.
Like all the A-listers that did get started in porn.
Yeah.
I went to go see Furiosa last night, actually.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't understand the hate coming towards that movie.
Well, it's not doing well
at
the box office.
Well, I think it was marketed bad.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
a good movie. And
it
then
rules.
I was worried that it was going to be like too much CGI. Mm-hmm. And I was like, nah, it like wasn't distracting.
It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It looks very similar to Fury Road in terms of the style.
I want to see it again.
Yeah.
In that, like, it's longer, which is weird. It's not the like 90-minute.
Hours.
Yeah, it's not the 90-minute like action flick that like Furiosa is longer than that, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like Furiosa is pretty concise, like an old Greek adventure story where it's just like, we got a mission, we're gonna do
Fury Road is.
Yeah, Fury Road. Yeah,
and Furiosa is like an epic across her entire life.
Yeah,
leading up to that movie,
and then
it makes Fury Road, in retrespect, just this like epilogue to her story, kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
It first of all, it does. It doesn't fuck with the story of Fury Road. No. It just kind of makes it better. And I'm like, it makes some things in Fury Road hit better.
I rewatched Fury Road afterwards.
Yeah.
Because my sister and I went to see Furiosa. She'd never seen Fury Road. And then afterwards I showed her Fury Road.
Yeah.
And I, like, so much stuff just clicks better when you watch it.
Yeah. No,
it's
fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't have Mad Max in it. I'm like, I get that. But, like, first of all, spoiler. There's a like 2-second cameo
from like a Tom Hardy body double.
Yeah, but it was enough that I was like, works.
Well,
like,
also it's not trying to be like, I don't know. It's it's such a dumb complaint. To complain that Max isn't in the movie. It's not called Mad Max.
No, and it's a Mad Max saga, and in the world of like oversaturated universes like Star Wars and MCU, where they're just expanding these universes never-endingly.
It's like all the reasons to hate the Star Wars prequels. Were people mad that Luke Skywalker wasn't in them?
Right.
It's like, what are you, a fucking moron? That's not what the story's about.
Right.
Like,
and I'm like, okay, no, it just took an epic universe, which is the Wasteland.
Yeah.
And it told a good story in that setting. I'm like, I'm all for anthological stories or like universe break-offs.
Post-nuclear Australia.
Well, because I was like post-COVID and post-World War III.
Right.
That's what we're going to get.
I like to think in the Mad Max universe, this is only Australia. Like, everybody else is doing fine.
Weirdly enough.
Just like, there's some weird stuff going on.
Like, because watching the first movie.
Yeah.
And then like
that's when society's like on the edge.
Right. But
crumbling.
I do think you're kind of right, because like part of it makes me think that the wasteland is like a place where after World War III, certain people can just go to where they're like, I want to live lawlessly like this. Because weirdly enough, I'm like, I don't know, maybe like there is other places that are still civilized, or like in the first movie, they're holding on still. But it's like, if you're like, fuck this, I'm out, you go to the wasteland. That's kind of the headcanon I have for it.
And what's interesting is, I mean, George Miller definitely doesn't want to have any kind of consistency, which I love.
Yeah.
Because Max is always the same age, and it seems like forever has passed. Because
fundamentally understands that the individual films matter more than
right.
You know.
That's why Furiosa is kind of special. It's the first time that it wasn't just kind of a streamlined action movie. You know, it was like this epic, and it does
also have good action though.
It does have great action, and it is the first one that like ties directly into like a previous one.
That's true.
Know?
Yeah,
but in the first movie, it's like society's like just falling off.
Yep.
It's looking rough. It's kind of like the Warriors in terms of the reality a little bit in Australia. And
I would say the same universe.
Yeah.
I could believe that.
And then like Road Warriors, like, all right, it collapsed, right?
Yeah.
And now Max, who used to be a cop, he used to work within a system when we had one.
Metro Force Police or whatever. MFP, is that what it is? I can't remember. Yeah.
And then we have like Thunderdome. He's like more feral. Fury Road, same thing. And then Fury Road, Tom Hardy's like the same age that Mel Gibson was in the original movie, but it seems like 100 years have passed since society's collapsed. You're like, how does nobody remember? Like, how people have names like Dementis and like Scrotus.
It's like, incredible. Also, like World War III, it like was one generation back. Yeah. So it's hilarious that like I'm like, oh, Scrotus looks all fucked up, and I'm like, he probably just missed modern medicine. Yeah. Like, that sucks.
And I love that. Max is just this never aging. He's like, you know, Clint Eastwood is the man with no name. He just kind of wanders. Yeah, he's like this legend that wanders. I even saw
a breakdown that is like Max as a character is kind of like an Eternal. Yeah, where it's like, was he there? Wasn't he there? He's like a personification of like a myth or a legend.
And I like that they, like in the Road Warrior, they have like that kid narrating, the feral boy growing up talking about it. And it's like, he could be unreliable. There's the narrator in Furiosa who could be unreliable. You know, it's just like, these are just tales people tell each other.
I will say, and in Furiosa, they have a character who's like almost a better version of Mad Max.
Well, they did
the Warwick driver?
The Warwick driver, who, that adds context to Fury Road, where it's like, oh, maybe she saw in Max what she remembers from this guy, which is sweet. Yeah. He's like
I didn't even think
Max.
about that. That's incredible.
And then you have Chris Hemsworth's character Dementis, who's like evil Max.
Yeah.
He looks like Mel Gibson now. He's got like the beard and the mustache, and then he also has the same backstory. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And you're like, oh, there's all these different scenarios of who Max could have been.
I think it's a wickedly intelligent movie disguised as a dumbass. Like because
it's so smart.
One of the things I've seen a lot of critics praise it for, and it's like low key high praise, is like Chris Hemsworth has several monologues that are fucking incredible.
Get it, dude. Kill Thor. Kill off Thor. Let this guy do more good movies.
Dude, the prosthetic nose as well, hilarious, but like in a good way. Yeah. Like, and then I didn't even think about how he does kind of mirror Max's own origin story, but like the teddy bear thing, and like there's this weird sweetness, and then like the line that got me, like in one of the monologues or like in a heavy conversation, is when he said, when it comes to like death, it's like, do it fast, do it slow, and then like as he's getting
have it in you
tortured,
to make it epic.
Right. But I just loved when he went, because he's kind of getting like the shit kicked out of him.
He's getting his ass handed to him.
But he goes, I have like, I can't remember it verbatim, but like an outstandingly high pain tolerance or something. I'm like, oh, that was like such a good line, right where it needed to be.
Because we have the context that...
Well, my suspension of disbelief was right on the edge with like this ass kicking. Yeah. And then for him to say that, I'm like, you know what? I've met a few dudes in my life that could probably take an ass whooping like that and keep talking.
Also, if I lived in a world like that, my pain tolerance would probably improve.
But I'm just saying, I'm like, it's so weird to have like a dumb action adventure.
Yeah.
With like really, as I'm watching it, going like, oh, this is good writing.
Well,
This is
like,
good character development.
We used to have that all the time.
Yeah,
like, the common action like nowadays there's this idea that an action movie has to be dumb, and if an action movie's dumb, it's like, oh well, it's an action movie. What do you want?
Popcorn.
But it's like in the 90s is when we got like The Fugitive and Speed and these like incredibly smart action movies.
Do you think it's getting the 2049 treatment? Blade Runner 2049, because when that came out,
that one flopped too.
Yeah, but it's incredible.
No, yeah.
I love is like these movies are still coming out every now and again.
We still keep trying. Every couple of years, we're like, all right, we're gonna change the tide.
Well, it's like,
and then people don't. But you know what? Fucking murdered was the new Bad Boys movie.
we should. I would. Have you seen it already?
I did.
Fuck. I would go see it with you at some point.
Dude, Bad Boys. Here's the thing. All the headlines are always like Bad Boys overperforms, like it does better than expected, and that's just because they never account for black audiences.
Yeah,
they never think. Nobody ever advertises to black audiences. Nobody really thinks about what they're gonna come.
You're
out
telling
and see.
me this movie's as cool as Joe Biden? You telling me this movie's as cool as Joe Biden?
Dare I say cooler?
Whoa.
If we can get the black folks to turn out in November like they did for Bad Boys, oh God, imagine like the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris like capitalizing on Bad Boys to try to get the black vote this year.
Yeah,
that would be
better than saying you have hot sauce in your purse all the time. Fucking
or lying and pretending about what rappers you used to listen to back in the day.
None of that. But sorry, gone too far away from how epic and good Mad Max or
it's great.
Furious is.
Go see it. Tell people to see it.
Well, the one thing I want to talk about is like Matt Damon and other actors have talked about like how you can't make movies like that anymore.
Right. On Hot Ones, you talked about that.
Sure,
yeah.
And it does kind of bum me out where I'm like, oh man, some entertainment is just being designed to be widely marketable and palatable to the most.
Yeah,
but I am still happy that every now and again there's just a movie that comes out that says, fuck it, we're going for it. Like Blade Runner 2049 and now this Furiosa movie. I don't know, man. Like a few people I like publicly kind of denounced it. And I was like, oh, whatever. Like some other comics.
If you say
like
the critical drinker, I'm going to punch a hole in
the wall. No. I don't even know his take on it.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about like Facebook
like comics.
Buddies. Yeah. And somebody.
I never trust those guys.
Well, no, but I just kind of I took a chance on like, man, I really like it as a universe, as a setting. Yeah. And then I heard enough good things where I'm like, well, where's the bad?
Yeah.
And like the only thing for me is like it's a little bit long.
It's long, and compared to Fury Road, it's not like the breakneck pace,
right? But
which just means it's a different kind of movie.
But the only reason I think long movies suck is because I have to piss all the time.
Yeah.
Other than that, I was like, I'm here for it. Like, dude, I would have geared up a little bit more. Like when you go into Blade Runner, you understand you're in for an epic.
Yes,
and it should have been marketed as an epic, like not a prequel or not like an action adventure. This movie should have been marketed as like what Dune wants to be.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, I'm not taking pop shots at Dune, but like
pop shots
unless you have somebody who's read the book to literally be the fucking history nerd next to you from a Mad Max movie, like, well, actually, the reason they have the shields, but like, I don't care. Their shields stop bullets, but not swords. Sounds like a lapse in fucking design.
I think the problem is like we're babying audiences. Like movies for adults don't really exist as much as they used to, right? In terms of like 1989, the highest grossing movie was fucking Rain Man. You know?
Yeah.
It was a drama about an autistic guy with Dustin Hoffman and
Tom Cruise.
It's also
the 80s, and I can imagine a lot of dudes like, you want to go laugh at this fucking...
like,
oh, look, he fucking counts the sticks.
I'm sure that was part of it, yeah. But like now, like what is the highest grossing movie is always like Sonic the Hedgehog or something. Like it's like, and grown ass men are going to see Sonic.
I think we're in speaking of have to piss all the time, I do have to piss right now. But I think we're at a point where like the society's in a little bit of an arrested development phase.
Yeah.
And World War III is going to go ahead and bring out the art again.
I got in an argument last night with some teachers.
Soliloquy as I piss. I'm listening. Okay. I'm listening, everybody.
All right. I'm going to talk so you can hear this. I got in an argument with some teachers about Ted Lasso because a lot of them, they like Ted Lasso and I was like, I don't know. I think it's a fine show. I just think it's ruining America. And I had to explain myself. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, it's like the problem is this like nice core bullshit that we're making for adults, and we're like, oh, let's make a show where like everybody's nice and there's no conflict, and you know, like this like rural American guy just shows up in a mean place and makes everybody nice by being nice. And I think that that is like, that's basically why we're all gonna die, is because like people honestly just want to be babied by their entertainment.
I mean, the gist I got from it is, Ted Lasso is the reason we're all gonna die. But no,
because it's like have you watched the show?
No,
it's all about like, oh, you should just be nice to each other, and then there's no conflict. Every conflict resolves itself in 30 seconds in that show, because somebody will meet Ted Lasso, they'll be like, Ted Lasso, you suck, I'm a dick, and then he'll be like, oh, hey, I just think, blah 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 blah, and then they'll just be like, oh, and then they call
it's never ending like, that guy is right. Like,
right. It's like it's a weird kind of nice core masturbation fantasy.
Weirdly enough, I don't know that I've ever heard the term nice core, but I understand immediately,
you get it immediately
what you're saying.
It's like, it all the shout out to a podcast called Michael and Us. They pinpoint the moment that Mr. Rogers documentary came out in 2018 was when we started falling down that path of like, like nice core of us just like, can we all just be nice again?
Here's the thing,
nice?
Being nice, and I know I'm reiterating just dead horse bullshit. Being nice is easy because it's fake, and it's like,
be kind.
Well, it's being nice is fake and like empty calorie type of interaction with a human being.
Yeah.
Being kind normally takes a little bit of effort. Like, being nice is offering somebody a ride to the airport, but if they actually take you up on it, you go, fuck shit, oh shit.
Right.
Being kind is being like, fuck, do you need a ride? Okay.
Sure.
It can be dressed up more, but I'm just saying, like, being kind, I think, has 100% the positive intent behind it.
Right.
Whereas like being nice is a facade, where I think you can be nice and kind at the same time.
Right.
Or you can be kind and kind of perceived as a dickhead.
Yeah.
But you can also be nice, and then it's a fake bullshit. Where like, where people are like, you don't mean that.
I don't even,
and I'm not against the pleasantries, white lies, and niceness.
I don't even have a problem with people being nice. I'm saying that if you're only consuming nice things, if our adult population is only consuming nice shit, they become like 12-year-olds with adult hormones, and they become the worst monsters of all time.
I'm telling you right now.
That's how you get like people saying to their friends like cutting out all of their friends because they're therapy, like because of like therapy speak. I don't have the energy to maintain this friendship.
I hate that the human condition needs conflict.
Yeah.
And then like we are not capable. We as a species, I don't think we have enough empathy yet to look at a veteran that goes.
You need conflict to have empathy,
right? But it's like we don't have enough empathy.
Yeah.
Like in our part of the brain that could truly understand. We're not there yet. Some people are. Like, I don't want to put myself on a pedestal here. But like when my buddies who got deployed came home and looked me in the eyes, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like all the fun stuff of like Arrested Development, playing war.
Mm-hmm. Now
I understand playing war fun.
Yeah.
And I'll never understand at their level, but like looking at these veterans that are like, yo, dog, it's a nightmare, and when shit's going on, none of what got you there matters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so cliched in Hollywood, but like it still doesn't set in.
Yeah.
Like we're still gearing up for the next one. And what sucks is like I don't think as a species yet we've hit a point where it's like, okay, let's try and resolve this without like like chimpanzee fighting and biggest chimp wins.
Yeah.
We're still there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sucks. And unfortunately, we're at a point where things, I think, are at this weird, like, everybody be kind, and we're just brewing up, like, the purge levels of hatred.
Yeah. They're not letting those things out. And they're not like, you need to confront upsetting things in order to live. Like, there's grown adults that can't talk on the phone with people, you know, because it stresses them out. Because they watch too much fucking Ted Lasso and now they can't talk on the phone. That's the pipeline. That's what I'm saying.
It's weird, man. I hate when, I hate when I get social anxiety because I'm like, I'll take a beat and I'm like, whoa, this is not me at all.
Yeah.
I'm not a weird, like, can't talk to a stranger type. And so, like, normally that'll be like a depressive episode or whatever. I'm like, everybody can have that where you don't want to be social. Mm-hmm. But if it just kind of creeps in, I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm going to talk to this guy and be like, why is this garden hose $7?
Right.
Because it says it should be $3.99. And then I don't say like that, but I'm like, hey, I think the price is wrong.
I want to read
This is wrong, bitch. Happy Gilmore line and full circle.
I wanted to read, speaking of full circle, here's a quote from Richard Linklater, who made Everybody Wants Some, talking about his new movie. And he's basically weighing in on how there's like this weird discourse over like whether or not we should have sex scenes in movies. Yeah. Because that's how babyfied we've become, you know?
Yeah, Henry Cavill being like, I don't like it.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm like, I look super hot.
Or there's people saying like, they don't have our consent to watch them fucking in a movie. Like stuff like that.
Oh, that's stupid. Also, I get what Henry Cavill was criticizing it as a just a throwaway. Like tits.
I think
and
he was
ass,
making a joke like, I don't like getting hard watching a movie. I think that's what Henry Cavill said.
That and then
maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I took it as like, for bad writing, they'll substitute tits and ass because it's good. And I'm like, yeah, I get that.
What's your problem, Henry? Are you gay, dude?
Yeah, dude, you gay?
It's pretty gay. You gay?
Well,
Henry
he plays
Cavill?
Custodes, so it tells me now that he is.
It's like, you know what I hate? When I get to see tits and ass.
Yeah,
that sucks.
However, I don't know, maybe insecure dude. Anyways, Linklater.
So he said, they asked him about this because I guess his new movie has some sex scenes in it, and he's like,
fuck yeah.
He's like,
conventional masturbation's back on the table, boys. Not going nuclear with old Linky.
Get that pause button ready,
dude,
fellas.
I'm trying to conventionally tug. I don't want to go nuclear on my genitals anymore.
The babyfication of America is me jerking off like I'm 12 years old again, just like
to porn. No, you want to be a real man? Go get a VHS and watch. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go pause it. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
But yeah. The part with Phoebe Cates and when you can see all the lines on the screen because that's where it gets paused the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of Basic Instinct,
that tape's warped. Yeah.
So he said, but I think we had to show it too. It felt like an old-fashioned, in a genre sense, movie. As in 80s, there's an adult movie. They're fucking. It's real. They put fucking in italics. It's real. These are real things. It's not just a part of cinema by and large right now. The infantilization is complete. The culture that wants us to, when I was a kid, when I was 13, I was watching a lot of adult movies. Very intrigued with that world. I couldn't afford... I looked forward to it, but it was a little scary because I had all these things I hadn't experienced yet. But I couldn't wait to be an adult. They seemed smart. They seemed passionate. There were all these fun things awaiting me, and it was through adult movies. Now I think the message society's sending is just stay a 13-year-old forever.
Yeah.
And I've never heard a more, like, sad and true
I get it. Like, I've too many times am I using it this podcast, but the term arrested development, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The age I'm at, where my dad was at, what he's doing, what I'm doing. I don't mind the appreciation for stuff that you enjoyed as a child.
No,
but like I notice it a lot. Even in like some of my hobbies where it's like, oh, there is some man-child energy that's like taking over the world in a way. And I'm like, that's actually toxic masculinity. I think. Because it's immature.
Yeah. Like being a grown man going to watch Mario on your own.
Yeah, dog. That's
a problem.
Well, here's the thing. It's a problem if it satisfies you in a way that is childish.
Right.
If you like it because
if you're like,
that's
let's
fine.
go watch Mario because we grew up with Mario. We thought it'd be fun.
Right.
Whatever.
Well,
but if you're there in the theater, like, they better not fuck this up.
Yeah.
They better not ruin Mario for me.
Okay, because we're getting near butt plugs time. But this is you're in Greece right now, so this is the fun app. We can do it can be as long as we want.
This comes out.
Yeah. I hope you're having a lot of fun. But So like one of my hobbies, super nerdish, is I like modifying Nerf blasters. Right?
Nice.
It's kind of, but it's fun.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like it's not an everyday thing.
They got bump stocks for Nerf blasters.
Oh, you better believe it, dog.
I've been 3D printing Nerf blasters.
Dude, I could show you some shit. There are 3D printed Nerf blasters. It's wild. There's belt-fed machine guns that fire as fast as like actual
rules.
machine guns.
Nice.
But my point being is like when Hasbro or like a toy company will make like a new line, and everybody's like, "This fucking sucks," and then like the core demo, which is children still,
right?
It's like, oh yeah, remember if you're an adult hobbyist into something that is predominantly marketed at first towards children, remember that.
Yeah.
So if a kid's having fun with like a new line,
the target audience is satisfied.
Yeah, I'm like, and then if you want to take it and appreciate it and make it into something for adult use, which that sentence sounded fucked up, but you understand. But my point being is like my appreciation for all the things I have as an adult that I liked as a kid, like Lego, Warhammer, any of those hobbies.
Yeah.
I still recognize when a new set comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, that's for a kid.
Yeah.
And if a kid loves it, awesome.
Great.
If me as an adult goes, not for me, I'm like, that should be your default fucking set.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
It
like,
should just be a huge success on the occasions that it is for you.
Yeah, and occasionally when stuff is marketed towards you as an adult, they nail it.
Right.
Like, I'm like, okay, so I guess, but my point being is it goes back to your metaphorical dude at the Mario movie that's like, you better not fuck this up. It's like, dude, even if they do, if you had a kid, which I'm guessing that guy wouldn't, but if you had a kid and your kid's loving it, okay.
Yeah. Did you ever, speaking of which, did you ever hear about the battery-powered Quidditch brooms?
No, but I'm on board with that.
So this was like an officially licensed Harry Potter toy that came out years ago.
Was it for the kids on college campuses?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was just a Quidditch broom. It was a toy.
Okay.
Right? And it was you ride it like you're riding a broom in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But
hey, you don't got to tell
all
me.
it did was you would turn it on and it would vibrate.
Okay.
And nobody realized that they were selling vibrators to children.
Yeah.
It was you just put it in your crotch and you turn it on and it vibrates and you say, "Look at me, Ma, I'm flying."
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes R&D does fuck up a toy. You know what I mean? Because mommy's gonna be like, hey, "Let me get that broom," and then mommy, like the witch that she is gonna make it disappear with magic. Where'd it go, everybody? On her OnlyFans for $5.99, which is less than a combo meal at a fast food restaurant, which should bum you out.
Or should make you excited, depending on what perspective you're coming from.
I mean, I don't know.
But they recalled all of them, and because somebody was just like, "Oh,
fresh
shit."
Well, good catch.
And then, but now they'll go on eBay for like thousands of dollars. There's like a guy that's like, "Yeah, I want.
Yeah,
give me that Quidditch broom."
Oh fuck. Okay, that bummed me out for a second. In my brain, it was like, these ladies are buying them finally. I'm like, no.
It's not, nobody's
same dude that's like,
no lady's gonna buy $1,000 vibrator.
Fucking Nerf blaster sucks ass, but at least I can sniff this broom. Like, oh god damn it, that sucks, dude.
Yeah,
that fucking.
We should get one for the pod.
On the record, I'm calling World War III happening. There'll be a limited nuclear exchange, which sucks.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna go full global thermal, but the cabal that does run the world before the aliens come down to breed with us. World War III is gonna shake it up.
I'm excited.
Me too.
It's gonna be a good time.
I think you and I and an Apache together be a hell of a lot of fun.
I think that is the thesis statement of this entire podcast. It's just been World War III is coming, but we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Chinese Rock Force still is doing all right.
We are destined to do better than the actual Chinese rocket force.
We have to be.
The trajectory is like going like this. Like
our stock's going up.
Yeah.
Tell you right now, I got a stove over there if you want some hot pot. We don't got to use no jet fuel yet.
Don't pull a Louis. Become fans of us now before we get big and before we get canceled like Chris D'Elia is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Buy in now.
How's that pulling
Buy low. Because you bought high.
Oh, yes.
Just calling back.
Buy low. I'm an idiot.
Oh, there's a crying baby. That's our cue.
Why are you hard? All right, plugs? I don't know. You're in Greece right now.
I'm in Greece. I don't
Having a good time?
Yeah. I'm having a pretty good time.
Okay. I'm taking my June dates are posted, but June and July I'm trying to take it easy. Just rest and recover.
That's smart.
Get my physical and mental health back on track. But and then August and September. I'm saying it here. Might be moving to Chicago. So to any of the listeners, the rumors are true, but a big might on that. But didn't re-sign the lease for Old Namoki. So we'll see.
Hey.
Could be living in one of your guys' extra rooms.
Definitely one of you guys listening right now. I guess
Jordan Hansen.
He's got spot.
You got
a nice
room? No.
He's got a nice house.
He's got cats. He knows how to keep me out.
I on July 2nd, I'm opening for Dave Dyer.
Okay.
And then Wednesday, July 10th, I'm opening for our buddy Robert Jenkins for it's a Sam Rose Entertainment show.
Oh, rad. Okay.
I don't remember where and when, but I'll post it. It'll be up there.
You know what? Yeah, if we're plugging July dates, 18th, 19th, and 20th, I'm at the Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Royal Oak, Michigan, opening for Sam Talent, friend of the show.
Sammy.
And Nathan Lund.
Sam boy. Nathan Lund's featuring?
Yeah, Nathan Lund's featuring.
Nice.
And I don't know who's doing a guest spot yet, but I imagine there will be guesties all weekend.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Sam Talent or Nathan Lund, they are two of the funniest dudes on planet Earth right now. So I'm just lucky to be part of that show. And I think it's 6 shows.
Okay.
2 Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Oh, my gosh.
We'll see if they had a Sunday. That'd be rad if they did, but I don't think they will.
Awesome, dude.
But anyways, yeah, that's July. That's my anchor point in July.
All right.
So I'll make it to that.
I'm going to hold off. I just burped in the microphone. Well, threatening suicide.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Do people get turned off when you do a suicide bit on stage? Or are they like... Are they pretty on board?
I don't know about that, but nobody's been turned on. Oh, yeah. Kill yourself, Daddy.
Do it.
You won't, pussy.
Wait, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
That's my magnum opus.
Don't blow your brains out too early. Don't do it yet.
I'm just waiting for the right stage. Gotta get one with a predominantly white background. Be like, Jackson Pollock's got nothing on me.
Standing O. That might be the first standing O I've ever
definitely gonna get the O. Not sure if they'll be standing. Might induce some vomiting. Standing O, no, give me the seated V. You want them to stand and applaud? No, I want them to sit and puke.
I think that's already my philosophy. I don't think that's changed. I don't think it's any different.
S&P. Oh, when people ask me about the S&P 500, I'm like, I'm about that life, dude. I want 500 people sitting and puking. And guess what? They're selling high and they're buying low. That's my S&P 500.
All right, I can't top that. Let's see.
Oh, God damn it. Oh. Good bits.